Now, after seeing this on the internet, posted up by these people, I'm a little upset because this is not North York culture. They don't cover their women up in Toronto like this. This is not North York culture. This would be more accurate. After the 49 people that were just massacred aren't even in the ground yet in Orlando. So this would be a better, interpretation of what's going on. For those of you that don't know, the Quran 4:16 says to stone homosexuals to death. And that's the culture we're bringing in and assimilating with Canadians and saying they're part of Toronto. Quran 4:16. That is now part of your Toronto. So there's their website. We're going to give them a call and see what they have to say. Anybody else wants to contact them, there's the info. Please do. Please call and complain.
Thank you for calling OCASI, Ontario Council of Agencies Serving Immigrants. If you know the 3-digit extension number of the person you are trying to reach, please enter it now. To access the directory by first or last name, press the number sign. To reach a representative or leave a message, press 0 or stay on the line. One moment, please. Good morning, Cassie. Can I help you?
Yeah, I have a concern and a complaint. I'd like to talk to somebody.
Is that about the ad, the campaign?
It's about your new posters going up around Canada about Islamophobia.
Put your line to the voicemail 500 because.
No, I want to speak to somebody. I'd like to speak to somebody.
But there's several staff to take care of it, so.
No, if I was an immigrant, I would get somebody to talk to. I would like to speak to somebody, a supervisor, please.
Please hold.
Trying to get me to call a friggin' answering machine.
Hi there.
Hello, I'm calling about your new posters going up around Toronto. I'm calling from Ottawa.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned. You have a Christian white man on your poster telling a Muslim to go back where they come from. She's covered up and she's saying, we're in North York.
Yeah, no, I know it. It's we got lots of calls, positive and negative.
Why wouldn't you put a white Canadian saying I'm proud to be gay, and then have the Muslim quote Quran 4:16?
Yeah, honestly, it could have gone. There's tons of different sort of issues.
No, but
could be looked at.
This is totally wrong. 49 people aren't even buried yet. The Quran distinctively says to stone homosexuals.
Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan either. But this is that's the angle, and you got to remember this whole thing's been in the planning for months. It's only that thing that happened in Orlando.
Okay. Well, on your website you have services for Syrians and stuff coming to this country. But what about Christian Arabs and Yazidis that have been persecuted in Iraq and Syria? Do you think they're going to turn to your organization for help?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is.
What do you mean you don't know? If I was an Yazidi or a Christian that fled, I would not be turning to you because you're glorifying Islam.
Well, that's the thing, right? I think the whole idea is to just to look at people and say, listen, is that, are you being xenophobic? Are you being discriminatory?
No, they're discriminatory. They're violent. They're degenerate. They marry their cousins. They're racist towards gays. They're racist towards Christians. They oppress everybody. Are you for Sharia law, sir?
No.
No. Then what are you doing?
Listen, man, you got to understand. Like, Lily, you're talking to sort of a middle manager kind of guy. For one,
Okay, well, if you're a manager, do something. I'm a Canadian, and I'm concerned. I think this is disgusting, and I feel bad for people that have fled Islamic states and the persecution they have suffered under that rule. What you are doing is disgusting. You know, we had a young woman killed up there in Toronto for wearing her hijab because her family thought it, was their honor to kill their daughter and their sister. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I dig it, man. Like, there's tons of, you could look at any society and any sort of culture and there's tons of horrible things that have happened.
Okay, name one.
Well, I'm not going to think about all the things that happen, all the mass murders that happen in the name of Christianity, or
Which ones? You mean the Crusades? The Crusaders were saving Christians that were being oppressed by Islam. Let's not forget the Middle East was white and Christian at one time. Look at Egypt. We're opening our doors like Egypt did. Don't glorify this to me, because I know the history.
All right, man. Listen, you're not the only one who's upset. So, we're taking things into consideration. I mean, the idea is that this isn't going to please everybody, and I think that was part of the deal.
No, I'm a Canadian, and this pisses me off. Please, it doesn't. It pisses me off. So I'm asking you again, you want to bring up Christianity, you tell me what Christians did that was so bad. Name something. The Crusades, they were saving Christians that were being oppressed by Islam. So you tell me what bad things Christians did, please.
Listen, I mean, you're obviously not going to get changed by anything I say, so there's no point in sort of having this argument. Listen, I understand that you don't like those ads, and I mean, they're not going to be.
It's my tax dollar paying for this shit.
Yeah, I know. It's you have a right to be upset about it. It's not something that's easy to look at, or if you disagree with it, it's your right to be upset with it for sure.
Well, then how do we stop paying for this? How does the common taxpayer stop his tax money from being wasted on this crap? You're glorifying Islam. People flee that regime to come here. Like, what are you guys doing? Real immigrants and people that need the help are not going to turn to you guys because you're glorifying the people that oppress them.
And that may be, and that would be something that we would have to deal with. I mean, that's the mistake we made, I guess. But it's.
So you're going to admit it's a mistake?
No, I'm not admitting it's a mistake. I mean, you got to remember that the people that are fleeing, the refugees that are fleeing, like the Muslim refugees, are fleeing just as much as anybody else.
They're asylum seekers. They're stop calling them refugees because they're just coming for the welfare state. They're not migrants at all, man. We had immigrants come to this country when there was no welfare state to build this country up. Now it's just a welfare state. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I think it's going to be those things where we all look at it in different ways. I mean, you can't. I'm not going to be able to change your mind on anything.
I think more and more Canadians are starting to see my way. I'm the least racist person you'd ever speak to, and this is getting to me. This is the last straw for me. You have now created an activist against your organization and Islam and the immigration. Like, you've created an activist now. That's what your posters did. So I thought I'd give you a call and see how the hell that happened. Why is my tax dollars paying for it, and what you had to say for it. And again, if I was an Yazidi or a Christian Arab that fled an Islamic-run country, I would not turn to your organization after seeing those posters. So
no, honestly, man, I'm not discounting your thoughts, but like we're just looking at it in two different ways, and I appreciate that it's upsetting for you, and yeah, like you're not the only one, but like I said, we've also got tons of positive stuff, so it's.
Yeah, but not from Canadians.
No, from Canadians, man.
Yeah, new Canadians, maybe.
Your view isn't the only view. That's the always like that's.
Well, the only interpretation of Islam is Muhammad's. Let's not forget that.
Listen, man, I'm not a scholar, but those are the kind of things that I'm not necessarily concerned about that stuff right now.
You're not concerned about. You're not concerned about that being the only. Oh my.
And I appreciate it. You're upset. I totally upset. I totally get it. I understand why some people are very upset about that, and like I said, some people are not. So it's yeah. There's. I mean, if I can't, dissuade you from getting more upset or whatever you want to do. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's just...
It's not what I'm doing, it's what you guys are doing. And it's not just my view. I'm calling in, protests for all Christian Arabs that have fled, all Yazidis that have fled. You guys can't keep doing this, man. I know you know the difference. You're glorifying Islam. There's only one interpretation, and that's Muhammad's. I suggest you read the Quran if you're going to work with immigrants and bring them in here and glorify it. I suggest you read the Sunni and the Quran, please. And take these posters down.
All right, man. I appreciate your input. I really do.
Wow.
Okay. I'm not just saying. I understand where you're coming from.
So how long, are you guys going to be taking these posters down? What are you going to be? Because you're upsetting Canadians. Real Canadians. My family's been here for 300 years. I have family that came over in the Mayflower, for Christ's sakes, that helped settle, conquer, and build this country. And this is insane.
Okay, man. Yeah, I'm not the one who makes decisions around whether things get taken up.
Well, then who do I call?
Down. They're only up for like another week. And then...
That don't make it better.
Okay, man.
Why don't you put some ads up that talk about the Quran 4:16 and how they push homosexuals off buildings and the crowds that gather below stone them to death if they're still alive in Syria? Why don't you talk about how children see beheadings and crucifixions walking in the streets of Syria? You're glorifying bringing these children here, putting them in school at mine. These are very violent people.
But again, I mean, in essence, you're sort of painting everybody with one brush, right? I mean,
No, I'm not. I'm painting Islam.
Yeah, but I mean, not every Islamic person is like that.
Yes, they are. If you believe in Islam, there's only one interpretation. I've told you this is Muhammad's. Read the Quran, read the Sunni. Obviously, you haven't read it. There's only one interpretation. And like I asked you, are you for Sharia?
No. And you know what?
No.
Listen,
And that should be the most common question when you bring an immigrant into Canada. Are they for Sharia? If they are, they shouldn't be allowed in this country.
well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the scholar, but listen.
You don't have to be a scholar to have common sense.
We're going to be able to change each other's minds, but no, I mean, I'm glad you called and you told us your piece, and do what you have to do as far as what you feel is right. But yeah, like I said, the campaign's a short one, and it'll be over soon.
Well, I look forward to protesting your campaign.
All right.
Have a shitty day. There you go, folks.